Well, first of all, I want to apologize to why we're late. I had done all the slides on Friday, and then I just checked 10 minutes before the meeting to do the GitHub, and everything was gone. So I had to redo everything all over again. So that's why we're a little bit late. So apologies. Hello, I'm Starlight Skies, and this is Home Team Game Dev Club, meeting 10 of 2019, quarter 3. It is September 8th. Reminder that meetings are recorded, so if you want to go ahead and turn off your camera, you can do that. And first up, we have Stabs for Frightened Foreigner.
Hello. Here I go. Share my computer sound. And go to the slides. All right, Frightened Foreigner week 9. How's everybody doing? All right, so this week, Cornell added inventory items in selectable in the inventory, and then when you click it, a little thumbnail kind of guide shows up at the bottom of the screen to visually indicate that you now, in fact, have the item in your hand and intend to use it. Still working out the code of switching over from just assuming that just because you have an item, you're going to use it, to actually having it in hand and intending, but yeah, work in progress. And then I did some work with finishing the bathroom cutscene. I added a puzzle jumper to help fly around and not have to play the entire game just to get to a certain part that you're working on. Then I did some like camera panning, cutscene kind of stuff where every time you do a new puzzle, lightning strikes down and the puzzle appears out of nowhere. Various interactions with objects, puzzles, and NPCs. Chopped up a lot of the artwork I did a couple weeks ago to take them out of the audio book or guidebook for the cemetery and actually just use them in the game, at least for now, as placeholder. Made some text graphics, and I'm working on the final puzzle table setup, whatever. You'll see it in the game. So here we go to the game. And don't forget to turn down that Is that about right?
Yep, it's good.
Cool. So here we go. This part. So here is the puzzle jumper. I can click on the cat puzzle. See the screen. And go over.
Hey.
To the bird. Cat puzzle comes out of nowhere. Then I go over to the bathroom. Milk. And I click on the word for milk. And they go use the milk. Bird starts calling again. Here comes the Hungarian monster spirit. He sort of like keeps on you when you get sick. And you have to go talk to your friend Charlie. Some human bugs going on. And finally, go get medicine. Talk to him again. Well, it looks like there's some new bugs going on, but basically implemented the next couple of puzzles and put in the graphics that go along with it. And if I go to the Trello, right, yeah. The main focuses for this week coming up would be trying to get the inventory finally fleshed out. Like every time you actually like pick up an item, like the milk I picked up in the bathroom, it shows up in the inventory so that you can use it in the game. Then I want to finish out all the necessary steps to make the game completely playable so that we can go back and focus on what my main idea for the game was to sort of like have a playground for implementing all the different Fmod features that I learned about before, and coming up with visuals that go along with those sort of transitions and layers and all those kind of trigger zones that us audio guys mess around with. Quick check. Some things that could be done are starting a fog system to go along to play along with the Fmod features. So like maybe the fog comes up and you have like a little bit of a mist sound going on, like. Or there's also the idea of having a progressive storm system. So every time you solve a puzzle, you hear like a little bit of lightning in the background, and maybe the rain starts to get heavier over time. And I also came up with this big, long bug list, bug polish warm-up task sort of stuff. I've been using a very just plow, keep going straight ahead, get the game all laid out, and leaving some bugs behind me as I go. So if anybody wants to go in and check out, some of these things are probably really slow, or not slow, really small. So if you want to get involved and do something lightweight, I can help you figure something out. And that's about it.
So Stebbs, just a matter of interest, it seems to get quite a lot louder after you start the game, after you've gone through the main menu and turned the volume down. When you go into the game, it goes really loud again. I don't know whether that's a bug or...
It's probably a bug.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me know.
All right, cool. Just so you know, over to you, Star.
Yes. Right, next up, we have Anthony for Umbra Shift.
Okay, let me get my screen share thing going. Okay, can you see that okay?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, this is, we're going into week 10 of Umbra Shift. We have 6 weeks left. Marcel has been working on our warehouse scene. He's added some materials, setting up the general layout, especially as far as the ground goes and the floor plans. He's added a lot of decorative models to kind of get that going. Carl has been working on some of our models and animation. He added a pistol draw animation to that's already been implemented with a new shooting UI. He fixed a bug that was causing pink squares to appear on the ground that I couldn't quite find. And I actually thought that might actually go all the way into production, but he found that and got rid of that. He also made this interesting little 3D model with his 3D printer based on one of the models in the game. So I don't know, maybe after we're done, he might make a Umbra Shift board game or something. I don't know. Brian has been plugging away at the inventory system. He made a lot of progress over the last 2 weeks, and he's still going. Now he's working on kind of implementing it with the other scripts that we have. This is the new shooting UI. Not quite done yet, but it's as you can see, it's coming along. It It has a line of fire that follows the mouse when you click on shoot, and then it snaps to nearby targets and shows you the vital statistics. And then you click again to shoot, but that hasn't been implemented yet. So as we go over the next 6 weeks, we want to identify some key milestones that we need to kind of finish the game. And so our first milestone is we're going to start the player in the bar scene. They're going to go talk to the bartender. Conversation will pop up with different options. At the end of the conversation, you get a key card, and that if you use that key card in the door in the back, that loads the next level. Not a big thing, but it's important because it integrates all these different things that we're doing, and that's what's really important right now. So our first milestone is going to be integrating the bar scene with our new user interface, with the movement system, the interaction system, Brian's inventory system, the chat box, our level loading, our sound effects, our music, all together for a little 1 minute, 2 minutes of gameplay. And that's going to be our first of 4 or 5 milestones that we're going to be working on. The next milestones will pretty much be complete levels. But that's our goal over the next week. And that's where Undershift is going. So if you want to help with any of that, if you want to watch any of that, if you want to be a part of it, just feel free to visit our chat area. Let me know. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Brian for Ghost Wrestlers.
Hello. All right, this is week 4 of Ghost Wrestlers. Last week, Vaughn added some updates to the UI. I think he added a couple of different updates at different times. Vince added enemy movement with some basic AI. The enemy can move to a determined location and it can choose a target to shoot at, or at least choose a target. Krister made some pretty cool improvements to the background image. There's parallax now, and he added or improved the sky and the clouds. So there's moving clouds and the couple different layers of parallax going on. And then he refactored some of that background code. Stebbs added this awesome cowboy hat. It's not in-game yet, but as soon as we have a cowboy to put it on, I'm sure we'll use it. I created a few different types of level tiles for ladders and wooden platforms. The idea will be that characters can walk on the wooden platforms, but the wooden platforms will not block shots like the rock regular walls will. Andrew added a simple pathfinding system, updated the collision for those new platforms that I just added. The cursor now doesn't show up when the character is in movement, and characters can now jump up ledges, short ledges, it seems. He also just very recently added ability to climb ladders. That was after I had made the slide, though. And game demo. You can see the parallax effect going on even in the title screen, and the clouds moving and the sun spinning and different layers of the background terrain. Pretty much the new thing right now, the main new thing anyway, is characters will hop up short distances. So now they can go up at least one. I don't believe they can get up 2 heights, but just the one, though, they can jump. Any higher than that, they'll probably need to use a ladder. I don't believe, oops. I think there's some bug going on where they're not moving at all right now, but that was the main updates that are in there this week. You can see a bug that the ghost moves around, but he's not quite placed on top of level ground usually. I think there's some bug there that might need to be fixed, but let me go back to the slides. For next week, hoping to add cover object functionality. Several different sprites we could still use. I'll show those in the Trello. There are different sound effects we can use, and then maybe power up functionality, at least as far as being able to pick up things, maybe not necessarily exactly what they do yet, but just be able to pick up items. And I don't plan on having like an inventory system, but just when you go over an item, it activates is what I'm thinking. So in the Trello for next week, there's probably some more character movement stuff. Some of this is close to being done. I need to go through here and kind of clean this up, but we got enemy AI still, probably some stuff with that. Actually being able to take shots and aim, and cover object items, and then several sprite things, animated sprites or crates and boulders and stuff like that. And then the sound effects, getting hit, gunshots, menu sounds, explosions, wood breaking, or anything of that nature. And that is the week 4 update. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Vince for Little Racers.
Hey everyone, let me share my screen. So final week for Little Racers. So if you guys are looking for some tasks, I have a whole bunch of smaller things that make a big impact to the game. So for this week, I created level 2, but I'd like to have at least 4 more levels added. So it's just a matter of going into Tiled, creating the map, and then importing it into the game, which is just as simple as saving the file. McFunky Pants, he created a option which respawns the car at the last checkpoint, and he also fixed a couple bugs. And Simon went in and added help options and created a screen to go with that. So for the Trello final week, so I'll just go over these really quick. So there's some items in tiled playtesting, which is huge. So if you guys can find more bugs, we can get those fixed before we release the game. Code, not too much, just simple AI, which is making the computer player become a little bit more aggressive toward the player. And then more of a nice to have, but an indicator to show what place the car is in as they're racing around the track. Some of the fundamental code is already built for that. And then artwork, it would be nice to show the 6 race tracks. So it could be like an imaginary map where you're seeing as you progress to each level. And then just simple artwork for game over when you complete the game. And then the car improvement screen, that still has a lot of placeholder art in there. If we can tackle any of that, that would be awesome. But that's it. So final week, polish, so bug fixing, and just a little bit of code left.
Okay. Great. Now we have H for Kung Fu. So I have a Pokemon.
Kung Fu. Gonna make it hard to say, right? Okay.
Oh yeah, you got good internet this week?
I don't know. We'll give it a shot. See what I have.
Awesome.
Let's see, here we go. So this is week 3 for Kung Fu. You can see on the left-hand side what we got from last week, and the right side is some gameplay that we have. This was current as of yesterday morning, and there's been a fair number of updates that have been made since then. So when I get to the demo, it'll look a little different than even that does. But so here we go. Languages. So Krister, thank you very much. Jumped in there, got the French done, and Claim came in and verified a couple of things for him. So I really appreciate the teamwork on getting that language in there. Still looking for the Han or Mandarin Chinese, and would like, if somebody has studied Spanish, to take a look at my Google Translate version of that, because that's still what we're using for the Spanish version. I got this note down here at the bottom. If you are interested in the game or contributing to the game, would love to include you in the Screenshot Saturday posts that I make each Saturday, but I won't just do that, without your permission. So, add your Twitter handle to the Trello board, to the card for Twitter handles. And when you make a contribution, I'll be sure to tag you in that contribution or in that tweet. So there we go. And art this week was the Jeff Hanlon show. So he gave us the title screen. He gave us these pillars that you see on the left and right side of the screen. He took the floorboards that I had created and added some shading and some other effects to them so they look much nicer. He also gave us the selector from the title screen main menu, these animated birds, a version of the home team game dev logo, and these really awesome roof tiles you see down at the bottom right. So lots of art contributions from Jeff this week. Really appreciate that. Game is looking really amazing as a result. For audio, Alan gave us another version of his gameplay music. So we have a a calmer version that we're going to use on the title screen, and then an upbeat, higher paced version that we'll use for actual gameplay. And then Jamie's boss music will get moved over to being boss music once we have all of that properly integrated. So right now they're not set up quite that way, but we know where we're headed on those. Still looking for possible game over music, title screen, and or more boss music. Or if somebody's interested in making more gameplay music, we could alternate tracks for different levels. So still lots of room for music if you're interested in contributing. And we're continuing to pull little bits and pieces out of that collection of 55 sound effects that Jeff gave us in week 1 and adding those into the game. Still looking for, footsteps, the swooshing, one-up sounds, that kind of stuff. So that's audio. For code, Eugene gave us the title screen and gameplay background music, got that added in there. So we didn't have any music last week, now we do. Krister gave us a workaround for some of the collision box data that wasn't all yet incorporated, was causing some crashes, so appreciate that. Vaughn got the title screen implemented for us and is continuing to work on the custom font. It's quite challenging when you start including some of the languages which are not just the Latin alphabet. So he's working on the Japanese portion of that, and I don't know, there's 75 or something different characters. So it's a lot of work involved in that. So he continues to work on that, and I did a couple of things as well this week. So we'll switch over to a demo. And let me know if it's too loud, if you can hear it at all.
Sounds fine.
Can you hear it?
Yep, it's coming through nice.
Okay, great. So here is the title screen. Let me reload it here real quick. So there's the demo. Here's some of the animated birds that we got in there, which is pretty cool. And I think it's coming together quite nicely. So we can run around. Enemies come in, they can beat you up. That flashing you're getting is because we don't have all of the sprites fully incorporated yet. And so it's coming along quite nicely there. Close that out. And the Trello. So here we are in week 3. Finishing up some of the player sprites. Some of these other items design the game scenes. So like the upper portion of the screen where we're gonna have like the score and player health, that kind of stuff up there. Other things we're looking at is more player sprites, transitions between music tracks. So we go from gameplay to boss music. We can try and fade that in and out, something along those lines. Some more actions for players. Maybe start getting some of the basic enemy sprite sheets done. Here's an attempt at a little bit of game font stuff. So you can see we got a fair bit of stuff going on still this week, or in the game still. But we're making lots of really good progress. The game looks great. That's it for Kung Fu.
Hello everyone and
Oh, sorry about that.
New journey, a whole new game which I'm going to be documenting every single step of.
Sorry.
Yay! Great. Props to H from Ugman for helping spot a great warm-up task. So can you explain about that, H?
Yeah. There was an opportunity for, since fairly, he had asked to contribute to the game and had expressed interest in an item, and we just worked on finding what the right level was and how to incorporate it smoothly, and just work together on it.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And this is the past week of GitHub check-ins. We have Alan, Andrew, Anthony, Axman, Brian, JB, Brian N, Carl, Charlene, Eugene, H, Jamie, Claim, Cornell, Marcel, McFunkyPants, aka Krister, Simon, Steps, Vaughn, and Vince. So thank you guys so much for contributing. Office hours are available at gemketo.com/members. Chris oversees one more week. Meet with our excellent skill trainers. A weekly quick thought. What skills are you now comfortable enough in helping others with? Next meeting is Sunday, September 8th, with Little Racers release. Yay! Looking forward to that. The game's looking really good. And we have no speaker, no rush. How was your week? And we are starting with Chris DeLeon. Just kidding, it's him.
Yes, Chris is actually travelling through the UK at the moment. And in fact, this week, him and his wife Laura stopped by my house and visited me and my wife, and we had a great afternoon. Went to Gloucester Cathedral because Laura is big into Harry Potter and all those sorts of things, and part of Harry Potter was filmed in Gloucester Cathedral, which just happens to be a 20-minute drive from where I live. So she managed to get some photos of in the cloisters which formed part of the Hogwarts corridors, so that was exciting. We've lived here for 12 years and we've never been to Gloucester Cathedral, so that was a good excuse for us to go as well. And then we took them for a nice walk up onto a lovely common that we sometimes go to, because there's some great views over where we live, and this huge storm was on the horizon, and as we walked around it got closer and closer and closer, and then it just smashed straight into us. Huge winds and rain pelting us, but thankfully we had our umbrellas, so we managed to run back to the car and get in the car and drive home. But yeah, it was good fun. Proper British weather for you. Other than that, it's been a pretty good week. So yeah, over to you, Star.
Awesome, thank you. All right, need to run, but this week busy. My wife and daughter returned from Kenya. Wow, Vince, that's awesome. I'm enjoying having everyone back home. Oh, I'm sure you missed them, but I'm sure they had some awesome adventures in Kenya. That's really cool. All right, so I'm back from PAX. Yay! And what did I do at PAX? Well, I can finally announce. I'm kind of sad Chris isn't here, but I announced that I don't know if you guys heard of a game called Homeworld, but I've been working with Gearbox to release a campaign for them. I now work for FIG, which is a crowdfunding publisher, and we together are raising up money. And it's already published, like it's already done. But what this is for fans have the opportunity to actually participate in the development, where they get to talk about, like, do surveys and be in the Discord and talk about like what they actually want, so they can actually like help shape the game and the lore and all that stuff. This is Barky, by the way. He's being a big baby right now. So anyways, that was really cool. I've never worked with a AAA company before, so that was interesting. And I like Vig and got to meet them for the first time, which is really weird because I do everything online. So yeah, that's exciting. And then I got to like hang out with the director of PAX. He runs PAX Australia, and he helps with operations of all the other PAXs. And he chose magic tricks, which is really entertaining. And I got to eat with like Rami and like Mike Rose from Big Robots. Wait, no more robots. He used to work for Tiny Build, so a whole bunch of people. And then what is it? David Eddings, who was Claptrap in Borderlands. I went to a place called Pie Bar, and we just happened to sit next to each other, and he was really funny. So he was, I mean, not exactly like Claptrap, but I could definitely see the resemblance. So it was good. PAX was really fun. All right, H, how was your week?
I was good. Work's been really slow, so I've been making lots of progress on Kung Fu. It's been awesome. I really enjoy game dev, and I've had a lot of opportunity to do that this week. So yay me.
Yay. Stubbs, how was your week?
My week was good. For those of you who missed it in the members chat, I switched Airbnbs this week, and it was like Frightened Foreigner came to life, where I couldn't get a hold of my Airbnb host, and then I had to like go find Wi-Fi, and he was giving me instructions, foreign language, and all this kind of stuff. So I had to piece it together. I was like, oh, maybe people will use a little bit of skills in real life that they get from Frightened Foreigner. I don't know. Wishful thinking. That was my week.
Should you travel blog? That would be awesome. Krista, how was your week?
I love that idea. Do a travel blog, call it The Frightened Foreigner, and make it like horror stories of getting lost in graveyards and really having to go to the bathroom. You know. Anyways, I had a fantastic week. Just last night, I installed Gears of War 5 because it's free on Xbox Game Pass, and I mean, what an expensive, wonderful, polished game. Amazing accessibility features, which always get me very excited as the modern AAA industry adopts this new way of trying to welcome as many people into play as you want. So you can break it's not just about difficulty or font size. It's about letting you remap every single control, or even move and shoot with only one thumbstick. It just like if you have one hand mode, just a million little things. I really just love the way Microsoft has poured millions of dollars into doing sort of, here's what the best accessibility features so far are sort of like. We'd like the rest of games to start to be like this as well. And it's a AAA shooter, lots of fun, good sort of Saturday night fun. Anyways, life's good.
Awesome. Anthony, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. My boss was out of town, and while he was away, we managed to do all of the things that we need to do. So that's pretty good. Nothing went terribly wrong. But then Humble Bundle got BattleTech. So I thought this was going to be a great week, right? I haven't actually touched it yet. But just yesterday, my Kickstarter came in that I've been waiting for nearly a year. It's a giant box full of goodies for the RPG system for Savage Worlds. It's a big box. I'm really excited about that. I'm really gonna look into, putting that to use. But yeah, so great week.
Awesome. Brian, how was your week?
Hey, my week was good. Other than working on Ghost Wrestlers, I'm a little late to the portfolio party, but I've been working on getting my portfolio website kind of in order. So hopefully more to come on that at some point, but it's still a work in progress. That's about all for me, though.
Portfolio party is awesome. So I'm glad that that's something that Home Team does. Jeff, how was your week? Good, super busy at work, but I found a little bit of time in the evenings to push some pixels around. Been playing some Borderlands pre-sequel, and also back Kickstarter for Lo-Fi VR game. Ooh, sweet. Okay. Borderlands 3 comes out on my birthday, September 13th, so I'm excited. Alan, how was your week? Portfolio after party. Great week. One of my compositions was premiered today at my church, which was awesome. Yay, that's so cool. Getting back in the swing of things in school as well. Awesome. Yeah, it is school time, isn't it? Wow. Time flies. Jamie, how was your week? Good week. Unexpectedly got Monday through Wednesday off. Oh, that's the best. took most of it to cool down from music production. Kung Fu Boss Music was the biggest project I've had so far. Awesome. And started we're playing Lords of Shadow 2. Wow, memories. Man, how was your week? Wrote Japanese journals every night. Wow, Japanese journals, cool. Worked in Blender and managed to almost finish a model for the first time. So almost finish a model. Started some code, but not much result. All right. Cole, how was your week? Second week of school. I made my first 3D models in 3ds Max and drawing art with charcoal for the first time. I'm having a lot of fun. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad. Yeah, 3ds Max, man. That program is like Blender, 3ds Max, and Maya. They're all good. So I'm glad that, it's good to learn different programs too. All right. Well, I think that is it for everyone. I want to thank you for joining us today and seeing all the updates. And yeah, and we can't wait for Chris to come back. And yay, home team. Yay. All right. So see you later, guys.
Thank you, Star. Bye,
Have a good
everyone.
week.